morning, everyone, and thank you for joining me this morning for this exciting announcement. I'm pleased to be joined by several wonderful people for this announcement. To my right here, as well as Kelly Ollerking, the Executive Director of Kids Sport Alberta, Umar Ahad, the Director of Premier Canadian Multicultural Council, Sylvia Donnelly, the guardian of a child who has benefited from the Every Kid Can Play program, and her grandson Aiden, and a collection of local families who have all been recipients of the Every Kid Can Play program. And I know firsthand that with the impacts, and they know firsthand the impacts of access to sport and recreation can make in a child's life. So I want to thank everyone sincerely for being here today. Alberta's government remains committed to supporting Alberta families facing the higher costs of living, which is why we're breaking down the financial barriers that prevent kids from engaging in sport and recreation and getting them back in the game. Imagine the disappointment of being forced to watch from the sidelines as your friends play the sport you love, and the only thing holding you back is the cost of registration. This is an unfortunate reality for families across Canada. Parents are facing financial challenges and being forced to make the impossible decision between paying bills, buying groceries, and getting their kids active in sport and recreation. Participating in sport builds confidence, resilience, teaches teamwork, and sport provides a community, a sense of belonging, and builds healthy habits that last well into adulthood. I often say, healthy kids become healthy teens, become healthy adults. It's why our government is working to create a future where every kid can access sport and recreation without barriers, so they can stop watching from the sidelines and start playing. Today, I'm pleased to announce that if passed, Budget 2025 provides stable and ongoing funding for the Every Kid Can Play program, committing $8 million to help increase access to sport and recreation, 3.5 of which will go directly to helping cover costs of registration for families in need through Kids Sport Alberta. Since launching in 2023, the Every Kid Can Play program has supported more than 21,000 registrations for kids, giving them the opportunity to play sports and participate in recreational activities that they love. In the past year alone, over 12,200 kids who would have otherwise been unable to access sport were able to play and get into the game thanks to the Every Kid Can Play program, helping cover the costs of registration. The Every Kid Can Play program has also supported more than 200 nonprofit organizations providing affordable, high-quality sport programming for kids, and reduced financial pressures so those incredible organizations can open their doors to even more kids and youth in Alberta. Sport is for everyone, and our government is working hard to ensure no child is forced to watch from the sidelines. The next generation will shape the future of our province, and when we are focusing on supporting them and providing them with the opportunity to live healthy, active lives, we create a better tomorrow for Alberta. Thank you very much. I will now pass it over to Kelly Ollerking, the Executive Director of Kids Sport Alberta. Kelly, please.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. I am honored to be here today on behalf of Kids Sport Alberta to celebrate the impact of the Every Kid Can Play program and to express our deepest gratitude to the Government of Alberta and the Ministry of Tourism and Sport for their ongoing support. For the past 2 years, Kids Sport has been a proud partner of this program, and the results have been incredible. Throughout the 2023-2024 grant alone, we distributed grants totaling $3.5 million in youth sport registration fees for families facing financial barriers. That means over 12,000 kids in Alberta had the chance to play, grow, and develop through sport. Kids like the young gymnast whose mother shared this powerful story with us. Today, my kid flew. Yes, that's how she says it. She always said she was going to fly, and today she did. She started gymnastics 2 years ago when she joined Altador Gymnastics Club. She was a dancer before, never a structured sport kid, hated being told what to do, was too loud, and always got in trouble for not listening or moving too much. She was underweight, under-muscle-toned, and over-flexible. She had an awful relationship with food and clothes. She found a sport that accepted her. Trampoline and tumbling. They didn't care if her hair was brushed. They didn't judge her for spinning around and doing crazy leg kicks in between routines. They didn't tell her to be quiet. She's where kids laugh, jump, and have more fun being part of the team than focusing on performance. She's found a sport that she excels at. And she has friends that support her, and she cheers back at them. She has fun coaches that love her, laugh with her, and they push her to be her best person, not necessarily the best athlete. And they have gotten her to become a very talented gymnast. She is healthier than ever, and she has muscles that support her strong body, and she works hard. She eats better than I could have ever imagined, but mostly she smiles. It was our first competition today, and yes, there were lots of worries and anxiety, but they taught her how to believe in herself, and today she flew. Did she hit everything with 100% accuracy? No, but through her team, friends, and coaches, she learned that making mistakes is okay, and she got back up and she tried again. This kid a year ago would have cried, hurt herself, hurt others out of not knowing how to react, but this sport has taught her to be respectful of herself and respectful to others. I'm forever thankful to her coaches and this program for making it possible. From a mom who has been so afraid that the world wouldn't understand her beautiful daughter with autism, thank you. And to me, this is the impact of sport. It's not just about competition, it's about confidence, community, and opportunity. Thanks to the Government of Alberta's renewed commitment to the Every Kid Can Play program, we can continue this critical work. The need for support has never been greater. We are seeing a record numbers of applications from families struggling to afford sport participation for their children. This funding ensures the cost is never the reason a child is left on the sidelines. On behalf of KidSport, our families, and the thousands of children whose lives have been changed through the Every Kid Can Play program, thank you. Together, we're making sure that every child in Alberta gets the chance to play.
Well, thank you, Kelly, and thank you for sharing that story. I'm truly touched hearing the story about the smile. That's just incredible. I will now invite Amir Ahad, the director of the Premier Canadian Multicultural Council, to share on how the Every Kid Can Play program has benefited and helped him provide sport and recreation programming for his community.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. It is an honor to be here today to celebrate the Every Kid Can Play program and the incredible impact it has had on our community. At the Premier Canadian Multiculturalism Council, we have believed that every child, regardless of their background or financial situation, deserves the opportunity to participate in sports. Thank you to the support of Alberta government, the Honorable Joseph, the Minister of Tourism and Sports, along with the dedicated staff working behind the scene, we were able to provide 285 children and youth, including newcomer, refugee, and local community members, with access to affordable and inclusive sports programming. Through our weekly sports session, we saw firsthand how sports can transform lives. Children not only develop their athletic skill, but also build confident friendship and true sense of belonging. For many refugee and newcomer children, this program was their first opportunity to engage in structured sports, helping them integrate into their new community and feel welcomed. By reducing financial barrier, the Every Kid Can Play program has created a pathway for more children to stay active, healthy, and engaged. It is helped bridge gap in accessibility and affordability, ensuring that no child is left on the sidelines. We are deeply grateful for the continued commitment of Alberta government to investing in our youth and fostering inclusivity through sports. On behalf of the Premier Canadian Multiculturalism Council, I extend my sincere appreciation to Honorable Joseph, the Minister of Tourism and Sports, and all the hardworking staff who made this initiative possible. We look forward to building on this success and ensure that every child truly has the opportunity to play. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Amir, for sharing your story and for all the work you do to help kids get active. So I will now invite Sylvia Donnelly to come up here now and share how the Every Kid Can Play program has helped her son Aiden play the sports he loves. Sylvia?
was contacted for this opportunity to speak to the Every Kid Can Play program. Okay, thank you. I wanted to know if that person knew our story. It was really important to me that they understood that no matter what the circumstance, just how important access to sports is to me and what I wanted to provide for my grandson. So I'm raising Aiden. He's 8 years old now. My husband died in 2002. My daughter, his mom, she died in 2020. And I brought Aiden home when he was 3. I'm his nana. It's the two of us. I'm in my 60s. I have numerous injuries and I live on disability. My family, we grew up with sports. It got me through some very challenging times. My husband played senior AAA hockey and won nationals. My brothers played hockey. My son played hockey. So when I went to register Aiden, I literally cried when I saw how much it is now. That's when I soon was made aware of programs through Every Kid Can Play and that they could help. And I was committed to make it happen with that support. It was very humbling. I have a post-grad degree. I didn't plan on being rear-ended 5 times. I didn't plan on raising my grandson. But here we are. And there are many families with various circumstances that didn't plan on being where they are. The importance of sports for me goes beyond the exercise, the friendships. It's the camaraderie that has been created, brings out the best in these kids. It helps their self-esteem to grow. They learn how to win. They learn how to lose. Aiden has learned about commitment, and he's learned about compassion through his sports. The parent bond and new friendships that are created there, we're so supportive to each other. Like Aiden's coach said this year, we're a family. And it truly is a community for all the players and their families. And it goes beyond the immediate. When I think about my mom, she's going to be 93 next month, and she looks forward to coming out to watch the games. The program has also taught us about giving back, about being supportive to other kids. And Aiden and I found a way to do that. So last November, on his 8th birthday, instead of the anticipated gifts that you're going to get, we suggested $10. $5 for Aiden, $5 that would go to the Calgary Sports Bank. And it has been such a great experience to be able to do that. Every Kid Can Play has opened doors for us, giving Aiden the opportunity to be involved in the sports that he loves, the hockey, the tennis, the baseball. Thank you for providing this grant so that programs can continue to make sports and recreational activities more accessible and affordable for all families that require it across Alberta. Thank you.
Thank you, Sylvia. I'm truly humbled and touched by your story. Please, thank you for being here today and sharing that with us. I'd like to conclude by saying that I thank the families who have been here today to come out and support the Every Kid Can Play program. It's the families who have benefited from this program directly. I want to thank KidSport for being a partner and helping us to change lives. You truly change lives. Thank you for your dedication in ensuring your kids have the opportunity to play sports, the ones that they love, and for raising children who will help create an even brighter future for our province. And with that said, I will now turn it over to my press secretary, Amber Edgerton, for the question and answer portion of this press conference.
Thank you. We'll now be moving to the Q&A portion. We have time for one question, one follow-up each. Please state your name and your outlet prior to asking your question. We're going to start with media in the room. And as you can hear, it's kind of loud. So if you could please queue at the media mic just over there.
Hi there, Front Minister Michael King, Global News. Just wondering if you can give some details in terms of the budget. The Active Communities Initiative, $10 million there a year, $30 million total. Do you have specifics for what that means for Calgarians, what projects we can expect to see completed?
Well, we just did a round of announcements, and there's more to come, so I wouldn't want to undercut those announcements. But the purpose of the Active Communities Initiative is to make sure that we're reducing barriers for recreation and sport for Albertans of all ages. Recreation facilities like the one we're in today aren't just places to play sports, it's a place to get together and to build community and learn the lessons that we talked about and heard in speeches today. So the Active Community Initiative, which is $10 million, gives us the chance to invest in Albertans, their health and well-being.
So we don't have any specifics in terms of what that could mean for Calgary?
Again, we have announcements coming, so I don't want to go and undercut those announcements when we make those, but what I can say is we've already announced some of the funding around the province, and there's more to come.
I did want to also ask just about, and we heard this a lot when we were talking at City Council about the game plan program in terms of revamping rec facilities. And there was concerns that there's a disproportionate amount of spending on other programs, specifically arts and culture, as opposed to sports, and that sports here in our province is actually one of the most underfunded portions of the budget. So I wonder if you could kind of respond to that.
Which part?
So the fact that there's a discrepancy between arts funding and sports funding, and that sports funding receives a fraction of the funding from the province compared to other departments, including arts and culture.
Well, what I would say is the province, we continue to invest in the development of Albertans, and that's in the culture side, in the sports side. As the first minister of sport in the province, it's been my honor and my duty to try to find as many resources as I have and as I can to support programs like the Active Communities Initiative, to support programs like Every Kid Can Play. And that's my commitment, is to continue to work with my colleagues to emphasize how important recreation activity is for Albertans of all ages. You know, we talk about Every Kid Can Play today because this is about reducing barriers for costs for kids getting into sports. But a healthy community at all ages is good for the province. It reduces stress in the healthcare system, it reduces pressures of mental health, and it just gives people a place to have an outlet. So I'm committed as the Minister of Sport and Tourism to continue to work with my colleagues to find funding where necessary or where possible and invest in Alberta's future and the health of the province.
Thank you. We'll now move to the next question.
Hi there, Mason DePetti from CTV News. Just kind of following that one, how difficult is it to allocate and advocate for sports funding when your government's posting a $5 billion deficit?
Well, it's never difficult to advocate for funding for sports and recreation. If you look to my right and heard some of the stories today, these are lives that are being changed because the kids are being able to get active, adults are getting active. What I would say, though, is that our government remains committed to supporting Albertans facing the higher cost of living. And so this is really just one of the measures that we're taking, in addition to investments we're making in this building in particular. It wasn't long ago I was standing in a different room in this building announcing $20 million of funding here, because this is a staple of the community of Calgary and needs to be a place where Albertans of all ages can come and recreate. So as someone who has benefited from recreation my entire life and seen how I've taken those lessons into my life in sports, into politics, and in business, I want everyone to have that same opportunity, and that's why I'm so proud of the Every Kid Can Play program, because who knows what these kids standing next to me are going to become. Are they future business leaders? Are they future professional athletes? Who knows? But it's a bright future standing right next to me.
And the city's undergoing its $380 million fieldhouse project for the Foothills Athletic Park. You know, there's still hundreds of millions of dollars funding needed for that. That wasn't in the budget. Is the province looking at chipping in for that, or is it on the radar at all?
You know, those conversations are ongoing, and I continue to talk with the mayor and my colleagues, as well as the federal government, about continuing to be involved in recreation development in the cities and really around the entire province. So I wouldn't have anything specific to comment on, but what I would say is those conversations are ongoing. Thanks, Mason.
Okay, seeing no more media queued in the room, we're going to move to media on the line. I would just ask, as you're being put through to ask your question, please enunciate, speak very clearly and loudly, as again, it's a little bit loud in here. So operator, if you can please put through the first caller.
Thank you. Question comes from the line of Stephen Wilhelm from Calgary Herald. Please go ahead.
Hi, Minister. Just wondering, does the province intend to contribute any funding for the City of Calgary's game plan?
So I understand game plan was recently discussed, and those conversations again are ongoing. I think that yesterday we released a budget that deals with unpredictable but not unnavigatable waters, and I think that we need to continue to engage our stakeholders from my level on the sports and recreation side to make sure that we are investing resources where they're necessary. And that's why we have invested, as I mentioned, right here in this community facility, $20 million. We have the Active Communities Initiative. But, you know, future funding requests, we'll deal with those on a case-by-case basis.
Do you have a follow-up?
No follow-up, thanks.
Okay. Operator, is there anyone else queued to ask a question on the line?
No further question at this time. Please proceed.
Okay, great. Well, that then brings us to the end of our announcement today. Thank you for joining us. If you have any further questions, my contact information is at the bottom of the news release we put out in conjunction. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.